Hello and welcome back to the castle build, where we are building up the center of the big tower. We are adding in our staircase, and it is a staircase I've done before. It is a column of marble and glowstone, and I don't think I'm going to keep the glowstone, but right now it's marble and glowstone, and then oak slabs, whatever wood I used in here, slabs. And then we just use a 2x2 square to create a landing for each level. And then you just flare it out as you hit a particular floor. It is a long way up. These are some very fit royalty. We don't have any of that soft royalty here in this castle. We have the fit royalty. Getting all the way to the top is quite a workout. I do go back off camera to fill in the rest of the floor that's missing, and that is actually going to hold true for a lot of this. There's going to be a lot of off-camera work, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. We come over here, we're putting on the roof to the Great Hall, and we're using a green wood. I think it's Great Green or something like that. It's out of the expanded forestry pack. The downside to this wood, though, is I cannot use up to side down stairs. I cannot use microblocks, so I'm really limited in what I can do. But I felt that it looks so much like aged copper you see on a lot of domes and things, and I really liked that look, and you can't get that look really any other way. So I decided I would just deal with the drawbacks and limitations. Now you'll notice off in the area behind the tower that I'm working around right now, I do not take this all the way down with stairs. It's just too much. We're going to come back there in a minute. Here I'm turning this front entrance into a big window of purple and yellow. Those are kind of I've decided are our kingly colors. I'm using the slab block, the green wood slab block, to give some depth and feel to these stairs in here. If you've ever done it in Minecraft where the stairs have nothing supporting them underneath, where it's just that one little corner edge, light actually shines through in some cases, and I didn't want that to happen, so I'm using the slab to kind of prevent that from happening. Now the downside to the stained glass I'm using on these windows is I can't use microblocks again. So I actually have to find another way to handle that. And you see I just used slabs to create a roof back here. So we just went to a flat roof in the back. After stepping back and looking at it, I decided the main hall was just too constrictive, too restrictive. So I decided I needed to break out all of the remnants of the towers and create the stairs into each tower off of the main hall. It really opens up this main hall, makes it look bigger and more majestic, more kingly. I experimented with glass in the windows here. I decided quickly that it wouldn't work and I needed to go with the iron bars. Someone had suggested iron bars. You were right. That was the best way to do it. Now you see over here there's the start of a staircase. That was a test staircase. I do have to test some of this stuff beforehand, and it was wrong. So there we go. We fixed it. Now I do attempt to create a column here, and I felt like I needed something, but I didn't know what, and that I gave up, and I do come back to that. Now here at the entrance, I decided to narrow the entrance a little bit, and I used inverted lights to purple and yellow again, and ringed it in gold. There's going to be no door on the front. I decided against a door, because the door you can only have two, and I really needed a central entryway, and I wanted it to be wide, not narrow. We're not gonna have a door. It's an unfortunate thing. We'll just have to pretend like it's always open, I guess. And then you see me going up the sides here with the basalt microblocks and doing the inverse of what we did on the big tower. And I really tested this at first and then really fell in love with it. It really, you'll see as we pan around how much it accentuates these towers. Now going back to the micro blocks on the stained glass, you cannot use micro blocks on the stained glass. So in order to fill in the corners of those big windows, I actually used clear glass, which is unfortunate, but it sort of fit. You'll also notice that I'm not using basalt stairs. One, there's no basalt stairs. I would have had to use micro blocks. Two, it looks so monolithic with all of that black. The black doesn't have the depth that the light stairs do, so it didn't look right. There's also going to be a lot of interior work that I'm going to do off camera. You guys are going to see some of the stuff that I'm doing in the castle itself. There's a couple of reasons for that. One, it's really hard to get the camera in some of these areas. Two, if I do it from my eyes, my viewpoint, when I speed it up, it causes some problems for some viewers. Finally, it gives you something to explore when this is a download. You see me here laying down the entry wool. We're using purple and yellow again. It looks very nice, and I like that. And then I'm using red to come off of the towers. And you'll notice my lights are inverted zirconium. And I liked that because this is a castle, this is medieval. There isn't much in the way of mechanics in here. And the zirconium, the way it bubbles and moves, it looks very wizardry, and something that you would expect. And you see me working on the columns here. I made use of microblocks again. The microblock with the hole in the middle, and then the microblock pillar creates those columns that I have to hold up the towers. We pan around. I'm using purple zirconium in here for area up top, and then right in front of the king, very purpley. Now here's one of the interior shots, and you'll see what I mean about interior being a problem. I'm putting in the stairs on one of the side towers, using my zirconium blocks, dashing about and working on one. I have to make an L-shaped staircase because of the way this works, and I didn't want to put it in the middle of the room like we did with the big tower. Here I'm working on trying to figure out a banister system, and that just wasn't going to work. I couldn't figure out a banister. And I'm going to try again here with microblocks, and it's not, it just doesn't work. The coloration and everything, I gave up. But you see how tough it is to work in this closed-in area. See me putting in the zirconium blocks, and now I'm looking at this tower because there's something I want to do to this tower. I couldn't figure out what it was. I did decide on what it was here in this other tower. As we go up the, I think this is the right tower when you're looking at the two of them. And we're just creating the simple staircase going up through the tower. I'm also dashing around. You see me, my head pop through a few times. There were holes, random holes in my floor. Things were missing on the interior. I don't know what happened to this particular tower, where I fell down on this tower, but I was missing things that I wasn't in the other towers, so there was a lot of other work to do. Now as we come up to the top, you'll see I made a decision. We're going to have another lookout. And I liked this, because the lookout on the big tower, really only the king is going to go up there. This could be used for other people, other lookouts. I tried the zirconium block there. I decided white wasn't the right color. That magenta, I think that looks nice. Now we're just going to put in the basalt edging around all these towers. You can see the towers in the back, how much it punches those towers. It really creates some depth to those towers. It doesn't make them monolithic anymore. And I really like that look. We still have a long ways to go, not just in the castle, but we have a town to build. We have the opponents to this particular town. Somebody has to be the opposition to this town. So we have a long ways to go. So don't expect a map download anytime soon. You see me working on this walkway. I didn't like that walkway. I screwed it up. I knew I screwed it up. I just didn't know how I screwed it up. I do end up having to dash over to the main entryway to just kind of figure it out. This tower is also unique. This is actually a 3-level tower. You come in at one level and you exit at another level, and that's both top and bottom of those the walls. So it's actually actually it's more like a quad-level tower. So that was a very difficult tower. I couldn't even get the camera in there. I did try, but the camera wouldn't work in there because of the way things were set up. This tower is also a problem. I usually create every single one of my towers with a height of 4 on each floor. But for some reason, unknown to me, the middle floor of this side tower is 3. I don't feel like going back and raising the entire tower. If I had world edit, I'd just do a cut and paste, but I don't. So I just have to accept that I screwed up one of them. Now over on this tower, it's also a multi-level tower. You come in at one level, leave at another. Notice the height of those lower windows. They're very tall. And I do not like that, and I do go back and fix that. Here we're dashing around. We're working a little bit on that side entryway. We're putting in some stairs on the interior of that tower there, laying in the grating on every single one of the windows we can find. Really doing a lot of touch-up work at this point. When we come around over here, after clearing out all that dirt, I do go in and I do change the interior of that tower a little bit so that I can make those windows 2 high instead of 4 high. Because the 4 high, it looked so wrong, and I needed to get rid of it. Now I'm back working on this side entry tower. Notice the shape of the tower. It doesn't have the rounding to it. And I figure it out right about now. And we have to go back and we have to fix it, because I don't want to just leave it. Thankfully it's a small tower, so it's a relatively simple fix. We go ahead and use our basalt block striping. And now we put on our usual roof that we have put on all of our other towers. Bit of finishing basalt, and then I'm going to be off camera for a little bit, and during that off camera time I am right there, I'm fixing that stupid walkway. I figured out what I did wrong, so I just had to go back and fix the walkway. Then when I come back around front, I'm actually going to start, I do a little bit of testing on that walkway. You saw it for just a second there. And here's the tower, or the castle. Here's the castle. Looks very nice. You can see just how much we're getting a punch off of the basalt striping on those towers. It really reflects the big tower in the back. We're starting to get that yin-yang kind of look, and it really draws the castle together, I think. As we come around, you'll actually be able to see into the big tower. You'll see the staircase going up. We do have to fix that because right now the queen can get an upskirt. We don't want that. As we pan over the Great Hall, we get a better look into the big tower. We can also see some into the side towers. We see our faux copper roof that we have in here. As we come out over what's going to be the garden, it is going to be the garden despite someone wanting me to make it a blacksmith. It will be a garden. We're going to pan around and we're going to head inside here, past the little pond, which is actually really deep. You can drown someone in that pond. Notice the entryway has been replaced. I got rid of those inverted lights and replaced them with inverted zirconium. And we come into the main hall, the grandeur of the main hall, and our big chandelier as we face where the king and queen will sit.